Frank Miller leaned closer to his monitor, rubbing his tired eyes. The soft blue glow lit his face in the dim room of Earth's deep space communication array. For 15 years, he had listened to the stars, searching for voices in the darkness. For 15 years, he had heard nothing but empty static. Until today. "That's not right," Frank whispered, adjusting his headset. The pattern was subtle, almost invisible among the cosmic background noise. But it was there, regular, artificial. He quickly saved the data and sent a message to Dr. Eliza Wallace. If anyone could make sense of this, it would be Earth's leading expert on possible alien communication patterns. 3 hours later, Eliza's face appeared on Frank's screen, her expression a mix of excitement and confusion. "I got your data, Frank. Have you shown this to anyone else?" she asked, her voice low as if someone might be listening. "No. I wanted you to look at it first." "Am I crazy? Or does that look like a filter pattern to you?" Eliza nodded slowly. "It's not natural. Whatever this is, it's technological, but it's not a message." "Then what is it?" Frank asked. "I think," Eliza paused, choosing her words carefully, "someone is blocking our signals." The idea seemed impossible. For 250 years, humanity had been broadcasting into space. Messages of peace, mathematics, music, all sent in hope of finding other intelligent life. The silence had led many to believe humans were alone in the galaxy. But what if they weren't alone? What if someone had been listening all along but choosing not to answer? 2 days later, Frank and Eliza sat in the office of Alan Wright, director of Earth's United Defense Initiative. The room was simple but impressive, with a large window overlooking the rebuilt skyline of New Washington. "Let me get this straight," Alan said, hands folded on his desk. "You believe an alien civilization is preventing our signals from reaching other worlds?" "The pattern is clear," Eliza replied. "Something is filtering Earth's broadcasts. It's like a net around our solar system." "But why?" Alan asked. "Why would anyone do that?" Frank shrugged. "Maybe they're afraid of us. Human history isn't exactly peaceful." Alan stood and walked to the window. Below, people moved through their daily lives, unaware that their place in the universe might be about to change forever. "What do you need?" he finally asked. "We've been developing a new communication method," Frank explained. "Quantum entanglement that bypasses traditional radio waves. If something is blocking our normal signals, then this might get through," Eliza finished. Alan nodded slowly. "I'll get you the funding, but this stays quiet for now. No need to cause a panic." Project Breakthrough moved quickly. Within 3 months, a team of Earth's best scientists built a quantum transmitter unlike anything created before. It was housed in a dome on the far side of the moon, away from Earth's electronic noise. The night of the first transmission, Frank, Eliza, and Alan gathered in the control room. 20 other scientists and military personnel stood behind them, watching screens and checking equipment. "Message loaded," a technician called out. "Transmitter at full power." Frank looked at Eliza. "What are we saying for humanity's first real message to the stars?" Eliza smiled. "The truth. We know you're there. We wish to speak." Simple and direct, Alan nodded. "Let's hope someone friendly is listening." Frank took a deep breath and pressed the button. The quantum transmitter hummed to life, sending its message not through radio waves but through the very fabric of space-time itself. There was no light show, no dramatic sound, just the quiet beep of confirmation that the message had been sent. "Now we wait," Frank said. But they didn't have to wait long. Exactly 72 hours later, every computer screen on Earth flickered for 3 seconds. Every radio broadcast, every television signal, and every phone call experienced a moment of strange static. Most people barely noticed. But at the deep space array, alarms were blaring. "We have an object in orbit," shouted a technician. "It wasn't there 5 minutes ago." Satellite images showed a smooth oval shape about 30 meters long. It reflected sunlight with a metallic blue sheen. There were no visible engines, weapons, or windows. "It's a probe," Eliza whispered, staring at the screen. They sent a probe. Earth's military forces went on high alert. Fighter jets scrambled. Defense satellites turned their attention to the visitor. But the object made no aggressive moves. It simply maintained its orbit, silent and watching, until it wasn't silent anymore. "We're receiving a transmission," Frank called out, his fingers flying over his keyboard. "It's coming from the probe." The message was simple text that appeared on their screens. "We hear you now." 4 words that changed everything. Within hours, a second message arrived with a data packet. When decoded, it revealed the existence of the Galactic Council, a coalition of 47 spacefaring civilizations that had been watching Earth for centuries. In a private room, Frank, Eliza, and Alan watched a video message from an alien being who called itself the speaker. The alien had 4 arms and skin that shifted colors as it talked. Its voice was translated into clear English. "People of Earth, for 250 years, we have kept your world under a communication quarantine. This was not done out of malice but caution. Your species developed technology rapidly while still engaging in warfare. This path is unusual among intelligent beings. Most achieve peace before reaching for the stars." The speaker's skin shifted to a deep blue. "Your breakthrough in quantum communication has demonstrated your ingenuity. It has also proven you will not be contained forever. The time has come to decide your place in our galactic community." Alan leaned forward. "Are they threatening us?" "I don't think so," Eliza said. "They're acknowledging we've outgrown our cage." The speaker continued. "A representative will arrive in your solar system in 14 Earth days. Prepare your questions. Prepare your case for inclusion in the council. The quarantine has ended, but your trial begins." The screen went dark. Frank looked out the window at the night sky. For the first time, he truly understood how small Earth was, and how big their future might be. 250 years of silence, he murmured. "And now everyone will hear us. Let's make sure what we say is worth hearing," Eliza replied. In orbit above them, the alien probe continued its silent watch, a messenger between worlds waiting for humanity's next move, in a game they didn't yet understand but would soon learn to play. The alien probe hung in Earth's orbit like a silent question mark. 14 days after its arrival, Earth's governments had united in a way never seen before. Old enemies set aside differences. Scientists worked around the clock. The entire planet held its breath. Captain Sofia Rodriguez stood on the bridge of the Northern Star, Earth's first diplomatic vessel. Built in record time using technology that had been waiting for this moment, the ship represented the best humanity had to offer. "Final systems check complete," announced a crew member. "We are ready for departure." Sophia nodded. At 42, she had spent her career commanding research vessels in Earth's oceans. Now she would command this ship beyond the moon's orbit, to meet the alien representative at the edge of the solar system. "Ambassador Bennett, are you ready?" she asked. Gregory Bennett stood nearby, looking out at Earth through the viewing window. At 65, the silver-haired diplomat had negotiated peace between nations. Now he would try to negotiate humanity's place among the stars. "As ready as anyone can be for first contact," he replied with a small smile. The Northern Star lifted off smoothly, its new engines pushing it faster than any human vessel had traveled before. Frank Miller and Dr. Eliza Wallace were also on board, their discovery of the alien filter having earned them places on this historic journey. "I never thought I'd leave Earth," Frank said as he watched his home planet grow smaller behind them. "I always hoped," Eliza replied. "But not like this. Not with the knowledge that we've been watched for centuries." 3 days later, they reached the meeting point, the orbit of Neptune. A ship waited for them there. Unlike the small probe, this vessel was massive, easily 10 times the size of the Northern Star. Its surface shimmered with patterns of light that seemed alive. "We are being hailed," said the communications officer. On the main screen appeared a being like the one from the probe's message, but different. This one's skin shifted through shades of green and gold. "I am Nix, representative of the Galactic Council. the alien said in perfect English. Your vessel is cleared to dock with ours. We welcome the first official delegation from Earth. The docking process was smooth. When the airlock opened, Earth's team found themselves in a room designed to make them comfortable, with Earth-like lighting and temperature. Nix met them there, taller in person than expected. 4 arms moved in graceful gestures as the alien spoke. For countless generations, my people have studied yours from afar, Nix said. You are unique among the known intelligent species. Unique how? Gregory asked. Nix's skin shifted to blue. Most civilizations achieve unity before they achieve spaceflight. They outgrow violence before they reach for the stars. Humans did not follow this pattern. The delegation exchanged glances. Earth's history was filled with conflict, even as its technology advanced. Is that why we were quarantined? Eliza asked. Because we still fight wars? Partly, Nix replied. The Council feared what might happen if a species with your competitive nature gained access to the technologies of older civilizations. Frank frowned. You thought we would use them as weapons. The possibility could not be ignored, Nix said without shame. But now you have broken the quarantine through your own innovation. This changes things. Nix led them deeper into the ship, to a circular room with a table at its center. The walls displayed images of planets and stars, the territory of the Galactic Council. 47 worlds, Nix explained, each with its own path to the stars, each now living in harmony with the others. And now, you must decide if Earth can join them, Gregory said. Yes. You must prove that humanity deserves a place among us. Sophia stepped forward. How do we do that? Before Nix could answer, the ship shuddered violently. Alarms sounded with an alien tone. We are under attack, Nix said, skin flashing red with alarm. This should not be possible in council space. The ship rocked again. The humans struggled to keep their balance as Nix touched controls on the wall. A rogue faction, Nix explained. Quickly. Not all council members agreed to end Earth's quarantine. The next impact threw them all to the floor. Smoke began filling the room as a section of the wall cracked. The room's integrity is failing, Nix said. We must reach the emergency pods. Another explosion. The lights went out, replaced by dim, emergency lighting. Part of the ceiling collapsed, blocking the main exit. There's another way, Frank said, pointing to a small maintenance access he had noticed earlier. It's too small for me, Nix said. Body too large for the opening. Sophia took charge immediately. Gregory, help Nix find another route. Frank, Eliza, you're with me. We'll try to reach the bridge through that access. Maybe we can help from there. They separated quickly. The human trio crawled through narrow passages following emergency lighting. When they finally reached the bridge, they found 2 injured aliens trying to control the damaged ship. Without hesitation, Sophia moved to help an alien slumped over a control panel. Eliza examined the alien technology, finding patterns she could understand. Frank secured loose equipment that was flying around the room. The attackers are coming around for another pass, Eliza said, somehow making sense of the alien displays. Can we fire back? Sophia asked. The conscious alien looked surprised. This is a diplomatic vessel. We have shields but no weapons, Bernoi studied the damage reports on the screen. The shields are failing on the port side, one more hit there. We need to turn the ship, Sophia decided. Present the stronger shields. Working together, humans and aliens managed to rotate the vessel, just before the attackers fired again. The shot glanced off the stronger shields. Nix and Gregory arrived on the bridge moments later. You saved the ship, Nix said, skin now a surprised purple. We acted on instinct, Sophia explained. That is what makes humans different, Nix replied. Other species would have followed evacuation protocols. You adapted and fought back. After the attack was over and the damaged ship limped to a council outpost, the humans were surprised to be treated as heroes. News of their actions spread quickly among the council species. You have shown us something important, Nix told them during a formal dinner. Your history of conflict has given you skills our peaceful worlds have lost. Skills? Gregory asked. the ability to make quick decisions in dangerous situations, the instinct to protect others even at risk to yourselves, the creativity that comes from facing threats. Eliza looked thoughtful. Are you saying our violent history might actually be valuable? Nix's skin turned a solemn gray. The galaxy is changing. Not all species seek peace. The Council has enemies. Enemies against whom our peaceful ways are proving ineffective. Humans exchanged glances, understanding the implication. You need us, Frank said simply. Perhaps, Nix admitted. We need what you can teach us. After 250 years of silence, Earth's voice may be exactly what the galaxy needs to hear. The Galactic Hub Station looked like a metal flower blooming in space. 100 miles across, it housed representatives from all 47 Council worlds. Now, for the first time, humans walked its curved hallways. Captain Sofia Rodriguez and Gregory Bennett followed Nix toward the Council chamber. 2 weeks had passed since the attack on the diplomatic vessel. In that time, they had visited 3 alien worlds and learned more about the Council. The attack was not random, Nix explained as they walked. It was a warning. From whom? Gregory asked. Council member Vax. He represents the Orden system. His people fear what humans might bring to the galactic community. They stopped before massive doors made of something that looked like blue crystal. Nix's skin shifted to a formal gold color. Beyond these doors, you will meet the full Council. They will decide Earth's future. But first, there is something you should know. Sophia tensed. What is it? The Council faces a threat greater than they have admitted publicly. A species we call the Void Collective is expanding through the outer systems. They are... Nix paused, searching for the right words. They are different from us. Different from you. They share one mind across many bodies. They do not negotiate. They only consume. Gregory frowned. Why are you telling us this now? Because the Council needs help. But many members will not admit it, especially not to humans. The doors swung open silently. Inside, a circular room held a ring of platforms. On each platform stood or floated representatives of different species. Some looked almost human. Others were utterly alien, clouds of gas, crystalline structures, or beings of pure light. In the center of the ring, a hologram showed a star system under attack. Ships moved through space, firing at each other. Most of the defending ships were being destroyed. A tall, thin alien with 6 eyes noticed their arrival and shut off the hologram. This was Vax, Sophia realized, the one who had ordered the attack on their ship. This session was closed, Vax said, voice cold. I brought the humans as requested, Nix replied calmly. Another council member, a being that looked like a giant blue octopus, moved its tentacles in what might have been annoyance. We have not finished discussing the latest incursion. Perhaps the humans should hear about it, suggested a small, furry creature. After all, if they join the council, they will face the collective too. The room erupted in argument. Some council members spoke in favor of sharing information with the humans. Others, led by Vax, strongly opposed it. Finally, a glowing sphere in the center of the room pulsed brightly. All voices fell silent. The eldest will speak, Nix whispered to the humans. The sphere's light formed words that appeared in the air, somehow understandable to all present. The humans have proven themselves resourceful. During the attack on Nix's vessel, they acted to save others. They may offer insights we lack. Let them hear. Vax's 6 eyes blinked in sequence, showing his disapproval. But he did not argue further. The hologram reappeared, showing the battle they had glimpsed earlier. As they watched, ships that looked like black spiders attacked a peaceful planet. The defending forces fought bravely but were quickly overwhelmed. The collective took Outpost 7 3 days ago, said a council member shaped like a tall plant. That's the 3rd system in a standard year. Our traditional tactics are failing, added another. The collective adapts too quickly. Gregory stepped forward. May I ask a question? All eyes turned to him. What makes your tactics traditional? The council members looked confused. Nix explained. Most council species evolved toward cooperation. Our military strategy is built on clear patterns and mathematical precision. Our ships move in perfect formation. Our responses follow established protocols. That's your problem, Sophia said suddenly. You're too predictable. The room fell, silent again. Explain, demanded Vax. Sophia walked into the center of the room, looking at the hologram of the battle. Your ships move like a dance. Beautiful, precise, and easy to anticipate. If this collective has been fighting you for years, they've learned your patterns. What would humans do differently? Asked the blue octopus creature. Sophia looked at Gregory, who nodded encouragingly. We would be unpredictable. Change tactics mid-battle. Use deception. Create confusion. She pointed to the hologram. Your ships attack in waves. What if some held back? What if others pretended to retreat, then circled around? What if you used smaller, faster ships as distractions while your powerful ones attacked from another direction? The council chamber buzzed with discussion. Some members seemed intrigued. Others appeared shocked or disgusted. Vax stepped down from his platform and approached Sophia. Up close, his 6 eyes were unsettling, each moving independently. You speak of chaos, he said. Of disorder. I speak of survival, Sophia replied. Sometimes the most logical approach isn't the most effective one. Before Vax could respond, alarms sounded throughout the station. The hologram changed to show a fleet of black ships approaching the hub. The collective, gasped a council member. Here? Impossible. They have never attacked the hub directly, Nick said, skin turning pale with fear. Gregory turned to Sophia. They must have followed us. No, Vax said. They followed your quantum transmission. The same technology that broke through our quarantine created a trail the collective could follow. The council erupted in panic. Some members accused the humans of leading the enemy to their doorstep. Others called for immediate evacuation. Enough! Sophia's voice cut through the chaos. There's no time for blame. You need to defend this station. The E-hub has minimal defenses, Nix explained. It was built for diplomacy, not war. Sophia looked around at the frightened council members. Then we improvise. Is there a control center? Somewhere we can coordinate a response? The blue octopus extended, a tentacle. This way. In the hub's control center, humans and aliens worked side by side. Dr. Keith Davis, a weapons specialist from Earth, had been rushed to the station along with a small security team. He now studied the hub systems. We can repurpose the station's communication arrays, he said. Turn them into disruptors that might confuse the collective ships. Linda Parsons, the Northern Star's communications officer, nodded. And if we create random energy pulses, we might be able to mask the station's true position. The council members watched in amazement as the humans quickly developed a defense strategy, unlike anything they had considered. Keith looked up from his work. There's something else. The collective ships communicate with each other constantly. If we could interrupt that signal, we could blind them, Linda finished. Make them lose their coordination. Vax, who had been silently observing, finally spoke. Your species thinks differently than any I have encountered. It disturbs me. He paused. But it may save us today. As the black ships approached, the hub began emitting random energy patterns. Communication arrays fired pulses of disruptive energy. The human defense plan was chaotic, unconventional, and effective. The collective ships, used to fighting predictable opponents, seemed confused. Their perfect formation broke apart as they tried to locate the suddenly elusive target. It's working, Gregory said in amazement. For now, Sophia replied, but we need a more permanent solution. Vax approached them, his 6 eyes now all focused on Sophia. I have opposed humanity's inclusion in the council. I believed your chaotic nature was too dangerous to unleash upon our ordered society. He paused. I may have been wrong. To everyone's surprise, Vax lowered himself in what appeared to be a gesture of respect. When this crisis passes, will you teach us? Will you show us how to think as humans do? How to fight as you fight? Sophia looked at Gregory, then at the humans working frantically to save the alien station. "We'll do better than that," she said. "We'll fight alongside you." 1 month after the attack on the Galactic hub, humans had become a common sight across Council space. What began as a diplomatic mission had transformed into a military alliance. The Northern Star had returned to Earth with news that shocked the world. Humanity was not only accepted by the galactic community but desperately needed. Paul Jackson stood in a large training hall on the planet Orden, Vax's homeworld. At 53, the former military strategist never imagined he would be teaching alien soldiers how to fight. Around him stood 30 Ordinians, each with 6 eyes that blinked in different patterns. They watched him with a mix of curiosity and discomfort. "In human military history," Paul explained, "we learned that perfect formation isn't always best. Sometimes controlled chaos creates advantages." An Ordinian raised a slender hand. "But chaos leads to mistakes, to friendly casualties." "Sometimes," Paul agreed, "but total predictability always leads to defeat against an adaptive enemy." Across the room, Vax observed the training session. The council member had become humanity's strongest supporter after witnessing their defense of the hub. Now he worked to convince his people to embrace human methods. "Show them," Vax said to Paul. Paul nodded and activated a holographic display. It showed 2 different battle simulations. In the first, council ships moved in perfect patterns, beautiful and precise. In the second, ships based on human tactics moved irregularly, sometimes appearing to make mistakes but ultimately surrounding and defeating their enemy. "The Void Collective thinks as one mind," Paul explained. "That gives them strength, but also weakness. They struggle to understand individual thought, unpredictable choices, and creative decisions." On another council world, Maya Collins worked with a team of alien scientists. A genius with artificial intelligence, Maya had been developing algorithms that mimicked human unpredictability while maintaining tactical coherence. "Your AIs are designed for efficiency," she told her alien colleagues as they studied her code. "Mine is designed for creativity." One of the scientists, a being made of shifting blue crystals, leaned closer to the screen. "But how does it make decisions without clear logical patterns?" "It learns from human behavior," Maya explained. "From our art, our games, our conflicts. It understands that sometimes an indirect approach works better than a direct one." The crystal, being made a sound like chimes in the wind. "Fascinating and disturbing," Maya smiled. "That's exactly how the collective will feel." Meanwhile, on the council hub, Captain Sophia Rodriguez and Gregory Bennett met with the full council. The mood was tense. The collective had retreated after the first attack but had since taken 2 more outer systems. "The humans have been training our forces for 4 weeks," said the plant-like council member. "Yet we continue to lose ground." "Training takes time," Gregory replied calmly, "and many of your people resist our methods because they go against our nature," argued another council member, a being that looked like a cloud of golden gas. "For millennia, we evolved toward harmony and cooperation. Now you ask us to embrace deception and unpredictability." Sophia stepped forward. "We're not asking you to become human. We're asking you to understand how the collective thinks and how to use that against them." The holographic display showed the latest collective movements. Their ships were approaching a key council mining system. "We have ships in position," said the Blue Octopus council member, "but not enough to repel a full attack." "Then don't try to repel them," Sophia suggested. "Let them think they've won, then surprise them." Vax, who had just arrived from Orden, joined the conversation. "My people have begun implementing human tactics. We request permission to lead the defense of the mining system." The council chamber fell silent. Ordinians were known for their rigid adherence to tradition. For them to embrace human methods was unprecedented. "Approved," said the eldest through its glowing text. "But humans must accompany the fleet." 3 days later, Paul Jackson found himself aboard an Ordinian warship approaching the mining system. Linda Parsons had joined him, her unusual skill for understanding communication patterns proving valuable in predicting collective movements. The collective ships have entered the system, an Ordinian officer reported. They are moving toward the main mining facility. Paul nodded. Remember the plan. Let them think they're winning. Then close the trap. The Ordinian ships hung back, hiding behind the system's outer planets. They watched as the collective began its attack on the mining facility. They're fully committed, Linda said, studying the communication patterns. All ships have moved into attack formation. Paul gave the signal. Ordinian ships emerged from hiding, but not in their traditional perfect formation. They moved erratically, some charging forward, others circling wide. The collective ship seemed confused, their perfect coordination momentarily broken. It's working, said the Ordinian captain with surprise. Now for Phase 2, Paul replied. Linda activated a special transmitter that Maya Collins had designed. It broadcast a signal that mimicked collective communication, but introduced subtle errors and contradictions. The effect was immediate. The collective ships began to move erratically, some even firing on each other. They can't tell which signals are real and which are fake, Linda explained with a smile. For the first time in years, a council force decisively defeated a collective fleet. Not a single Ordinian ship was lost. When news of the victory reached the hub, celebrations erupted across council space. The humans had proven their worth, but the celebration was short-lived. During the battle analysis, Linda discovered something disturbing in the collective's communication patterns. They were gathering information, she told Sophia and Gregory, about us, about humans specifically. That's expected, Gregory said. We're new to them. It's more than that, Linda insisted. They weren't just fighting. They were studying us, learning how we think. Further analysis revealed something even more alarming. The collective had begun referring to humans in their communications. They called them the silence breakers and the unpredictable variable. At a special council session, Dr. Keith Davis presented his findings. The collective isn't just fighting randomly. They have a specific interest in humans now, and based on their communication patterns, they're preparing for something big. What are they planning? Asked Vax. Keith's expression was grim. We believe they're gathering their forces for a direct assault on Earth. The council chamber erupted in concerned voices. Earth was still largely undefended by galactic standards. But why target Earth? Asked the plant council member. They've never attacked an inner system before. Because they recognize the threat we pose, Sophia said quietly. Not our weapons or our ships, our minds, our way of thinking. Gregory looked around at the council members. For 250 years, you kept Earth isolated because you feared our chaotic nature. Now the collective fears it too. The difference is they want to eliminate it. Vax stood tall, all six eyes focused with determination. We will not allow that to happen. Earth has shown us a new way to fight. Without them, we may all fall to the collective. The eldest's glowing text appeared. A defense fleet will be assembled. Council forces will stand with Earth. Sophia felt a strange mix of pride and fear. Earth had finally taken its place among the stars. But its first real test, as a galactic citizen, would be fighting for its very survival. Earth's night sky had never looked so crowded. Thousands of lights moved in orbit, a mix of Earth ships and alien vessels from across Council space. After weeks of preparation, the combined fleet waited for the collective's attack. On the bridge of the flagship Guardian, Admiral Joseph Reyes watched the tactical display. At 60, the veteran commander had fought in Earth conflicts, but never imagined leading a defense against alien invaders. Status report, he ordered. All ships in position, Admiral, responded his second-in-command. Council vessels are following the battle plan. Joseph nodded. The plan was unlike any traditional military strategy. It had been developed by a unique team of human military experts and council tacticians, embracing both orderly precision and controlled chaos. Dr. Eliza Wallace entered the bridge, looking tired but determined. After her discovery of the alien quarantine filter, She had refocused her work on understanding the collective's hive mind. "Admiral, I need to show you something," she said urgently. On a nearby screen, she displayed a complex pattern of signals. "This is the collective's communication network. We've been studying it for weeks. There's a fundamental weakness." Joseph leaned closer. "What kind of weakness?" "The hive mind cannot process true paradoxes," Eliza explained. "It struggles with contradictions, with ideas that don't follow logical patterns. Like human creativity," Joseph realized. "Exactly. Art, music, literature. These things follow patterns that make sense to us, but appear random to the collective." Eliza's eyes lit up with excitement. "I believe we can use this to create a weapon more powerful than any ship." In the command center below the lunar surface, Captain Sofia Rodriguez coordinated with council representatives. The chamber buzzed with activity as humans and aliens worked side by side. "The collective fleet has been detected near the orbit of Saturn," announced a communications officer. "Estimated arrival in 6 hours." Sophia turned to Vax, who stood nearby with 2 other council members. "It's time to deploy the Outer Defense Group." Vax nodded. Over the past weeks, he had become Earth's strongest ally. "My ships are ready. We will follow the human battle plan." Gregory Bennett entered the command center with Maya Collins. The AI specialist had been working around the clock on a special project with Dr. Wallace. "Is it ready?" Sophia asked. Maya nodded tiredly. "We've loaded it into the quantum transmitter. Dr. Wallace is on the flagship now, making final adjustments." Gregory looked at the massive display showing the approaching collective fleet. There were hundreds of ships, more than had ever been seen in one place before. "They've gathered everything they have," he said quietly. "They really do see us as their greatest threat." "Not us," Sophia corrected. "Our unpredictability, our creativity, the way we think." On the flagship, Eliza finalized her work on what they called the Paradox Pulse. It was not a physical weapon, but a complex transmission that contained everything unique about human thinking. Art, music, jokes, riddles, emotions, contradictions. Things the logical collective mind could not easily process. "The pulse is ready, Admiral," she reported. Joseph studied the tactical display. The collective ships had passed Jupiter's orbit, moving faster than expected. "All ships, battle positions," he ordered. "Remember the plan. Appear disorganized but maintain the deeper pattern." Across the solar system, the combined fleet of Earth and Council ships began to move. To an outside observer, they seemed scattered, their movements random and chaotic. But hidden within that chaos was a carefully designed strategy. The first collective ships entered the outer defense zone. Council vessels under Vax's command engaged them with tactics learned from humans. They darted in and out, sometimes retreating, sometimes attacking unexpectedly. "They're confused," Vax reported from his command ship. "Their formation is breaking up." But the collective adapted quickly. Their ships regrouped and pushed forward, their superior numbers beginning to overwhelm the defenders. "They're learning," Joseph observed. "Fall back to secondary positions." The defending ships retreated toward Earth, drawing the collective fleet into a complex web of overlapping fields of fire. The battle intensified with losses on both sides. In the Lunar Command Center, Sophia watched the battle unfold. Despite their new tactics, the defenders were being pushed back. "We need to use the Paradox Pulse," she decided. "Signal the Admiral." On the flagship, Joseph received the message. "Prepare the quantum transmitter," he ordered. "All ships, move to protect the Guardian." As the main collective force approached Earth orbit, Joseph gave the command. "Activate the pulse." Eliza initiated the transmission. The quantum transmitter sent out the Paradox Pulse, not through normal communication channels but through the same quantum entanglement method that had broken through the quarantine. At first, nothing seemed to happen. The collective ships continued their advance. Then gradually, their perfect coordination began to falter. Some ships stopped moving entirely. Others began moving in circles or firing at random targets. "It's working," Eliza said in amazement. The pulse is disrupting their hive mind. Joseph didn't waste the opportunity. All ships engage. Target their command vessels. The combined fleet surged forward. Human ships moved unpredictably while council vessels maintained precise formation, the two styles complementing each other perfectly. They focused their fire on the larger collective ships that seemed most affected by the pulse. Hours later, the battle was over. The collective fleet had been defeated, with many ships destroyed and others retreating in disarray. For the first time, the hive mind had faced something it couldn't understand or adapt to: human creativity. In the aftermath, representatives from all council worlds gathered on Earth. It was the first time so many alien species had stood on human soil. They met in a grand hall in New Washington where world leaders welcomed them. Gregory Bennett addressed the gathering. Today marks a new chapter in galactic history. For 250 years, Earth was kept in silence, our voice contained because it was feared. Now that same voice has helped preserve freedom across the stars. The eldest's representative, a being of pure light, responded, "The council believed that peace could only come through perfect order. Humans have shown us that true strength lies in diversity of thought, in the balance between order and creativity." Vax stepped forward. "My people have begun studying human art, music, and literature. We find it challenging, but also enlightening. Perhaps in time we will learn to think more flexibly, and perhaps we can learn something about harmony and cooperation from you," Sophia replied. Dr. Eliza Wallace, who had first discovered the alien quarantine, stood with Frank Miller near the back of the room. 250 years of silence, she said softly. "And now the galaxy can't stop talking about us." Frank smiled. Not just talking, listening. Really listening for the first time. Outside the hall, people from Earth looked up at a sky that now held new meaning. The stars were no longer distant, unreachable points of light. They were places with names, with people, different but also alike in important ways. Earth had spoken after centuries of silence, and in doing so it had changed the galaxy forever, not through conquest or domination, but by sharing its unique voice. A voice that blended logic and intuition, order and chaos, cooperation and individual thought. The silence was over, and the conversation had just begun.